Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. I am super excited today. We get to hear from Phil Herrington. He's a business owner, sales guru. He is a cold call master and a networking ninja. This guy is so impressive. Love hanging out with him. He's got more energy than like the Energizer Bunny. Like this guy just goes and goes. Phil, why don't you tell everyone your history?
Yeah, great. Let's see. I come from sales, and when I say sales, I mean cold calling sales. I did MCI long distance service. Some of you guys don't even know what long distance service is, but I used to be on a dialer and every 45 calls make a sale. So I was that guy that bothered you at dinner time, right? Then I moved into business sales and I did credit card processing door to door, learned cold calling credit card processing in Wichita, Kansas, and the whole area around there. And we just went door to door selling. I still remember 30 calls a day, got me 5 appointments, which I would close 2.5 deals. But the only problem is I had to keep doing that over and over and over. So let's see, I was in, I got here in Boise in 2013. By the end of 17, got divorced, and then I was like, okay, I'm looking for my next product, gonna go door to door, and then it's 2018, and a buddy of mine owned a website company, not yours, but owned a website company, and said, if I put you in BNI, will you go every week? And I'm like, sure, what's BNI? So I go in, everyone will do this one-to-one thing, and I'm like, what? This is nuts, especially for a cold caller, right? So I go in, and I'm like, I do 500 one-to-ones that first year. I literally had them lining up, coming in every hour in the hour. This is before Zoom, guys. This is like at coffee shops coming in. And we sold $500,000 in websites that year, and I realized, holy crud, I could drink coffee and make money, so let's do that. So I just kept going.
That's a lot of websites.
It's just a lot. It was 70 websites.
Wow.
Yeah. And the cool thing is I didn't have to build them. I just had to sell them and hand them off. Mm-hmm. So I've always kind of been in that role where I don't have to do the back-end work, just kind of hand it off. And so, so then I just kept going. I guess my claim to fame now is I've done about 5,000 one-to-ones in the last 7 years. So I've talked a lot.
And it's not all with the same person.
It's not all with the same person, yeah. I don't even know. We keep canceling our one-to-one. Okay. I'm hard to get a hold of.
So when did you realize that cold calling was dead to you and this one-to-one and networking world was the thing?
You know, it's interesting, it's probably only the last couple years that I really realized what I'd created, because I was doing, when I started the networking, I was treating it like cold calling. So I was doing the one, and not building any deep relationships. So that surface level networking, right? So it was like, how many people can I meet? How many different people can I meet? And everybody was an opportunity, not a relationship. It wasn't until the last couple of years that I realized, if I really build deeper relationships here, I don't have to necessarily meet so many people, right? Yeah. So I took that network, and what is it? We're about a year old now at the Connector community, and we started teaching people how to build those relationships. And all we've really done there is just eliminated the meeting, but we'll get into that later. But I think that's where it really transitioned for me, as I realized, I have all these people around me, and then people were calling me like yourself with like, hey, let's just hang out. And I'm like, just hang out? What? Like, we could do, okay, let's go build a deeper relationship, okay. And then I realized, well, then money keeps coming from that. So moving from that transactional salesperson to the relationship salesperson, it was been a bit of a transition, 7 years now in the making, but now it's like, I wouldn't do it any other way, because now referrals come in and they just like go, can I sign up for your thing? And that's the best.
Oh, sure, make me.
Yeah, sure, okay. Today, the little guy said today, he goes, how do I give you a credit card? I'm like, well, here's how we do it.
Excellent. So what is your current business that you're doing?
Oh yeah, so we started a thing called the Connector community, and the way that came about is my wife has 20 years of admin experience, and then I'd done all this networking. And I was like, okay, well, first off, I don't want to compete with any networking groups, because I think networking is great, right? So I read in a book one time, it said, if you eliminate a step from an already proven system, then you can create a whole new category. So kind of like what Netflix did when they started mailing the CDs to you, right? And then they started streaming. Right. And so they created a whole new category, right? So I'm like, I think what I'll do is I'll eliminate the meeting. So what we became, we didn't really know until this about the beginning of the year. I was like, I'm not a networking group. We are a sales organization that goes out and networks for you, brings back the cream of the crop, the best of the best. They join our community, and then you can go in and easily set up your one-to-ones, like a private invite-only LinkedIn.
Right.
And now we're really onto something because as a network gets bigger, people are getting introduced to people that are like taking their business to the next level. Like I just had a guy come on today and he's like, he's been with for 2 months, he's already got 3 sales, and he's got more coming. Right?
Wow.
And we teach them how to build strategic partnerships, not sales. Like if you can view the community as not the people you sell, and you can do a good one-to-one. So I teach that also, right? Teaching networking, but do a good one-to-one. Like when I first did it, I did a terrible job because I was like, can you buy a website? No? Okay, I'm out of here, right? I have any desire to talk to you.
Right.
But, and do you want to buy Melaleuca? I remember those days. Okay, anyways. So don't have like 3 businesses, right? But the problem was I was asking them to buy on the first time. And I wasn't even trying to build that relationship.
Gotcha.
And so some bought, yes, because I'm a good salesperson, but then I think I burned some relationships.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So, so we kind of are a hybrid between networking. We think it's great, go network, but you can't be every place at all times.
Right.
So I have a team of about 5 or 6 people that send me leads on a regular basis. So they're basically out there in the world looking for awesome people and sending them back to us.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing because, like I was telling you right before this interview, we received 300 referrals last year, and no one does that in their first year.
Right.
Like that's insanity.
Yeah.
And we're on course right now to do about 500 referrals coming into our business, and our email list is only 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and so from the internet stuff that like I was like, my open rate's 56%. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
So, I love Grant Cardone saying, he says, most businesses go out of business because they simply don't have enough money or enough people see what they do. So it's that seeing what you do, that visibility that we're trying to create. So if I can get more eyeballs on your business faster, and the fastest way to do that is to treat everybody you do a one-to-one in our community with as a strategic partner and get into their network.
Now you used a term there. Tell everyone what strategic partner actually means, because that is a gold mine in and of itself.
Okay,
right?
thank you. Okay, so some businesses or some entities will refer to it as a power partner or whatever. So let's take your business. So you do websites and all that type of stuff. So a good partner for you is anybody that does social media marketing, because their customers are asking, well, where can I get a website, or where can I get this, right? IT services, right? What do you do for your website? So everybody that deals in a digital marketing space or digital space altogether would be a great referral partner for you, because as long as you do a good job of educating who you're looking for, then they're more than happy to send them over. They just, a lot of times, they don't know what you're looking for.
Right.
Because if you just say you're a marketing agency, all marketing agencies are a little bit different, right? They have their different spin and all that stuff. And there's no way in a one-to-one that you can figure out what somebody does at one time.
Right.
So what we teach is, we don't have a lot of time. So I teach you how through an email series to teach your people what you do over a series of emails, and they start to trust your brand because you're never selling them, you're only educating them on what you do and who to refer you to.
Wow.
And so when you do that, then guess what you do? You get into their network. And so if the average person, we'll just take this real quick, it's 250 people in a group, and the average person knows 1,000 people, you have 250,000 people you could possibly be talking to if you're very strategic about it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what we're teaching.
Gotcha.
And as the network gets bigger, it's only going to be more and more opportunity. So
take this back now. You were talking about the whole networking world and how you were sitting down one-to-ones with people. What does, now that you've done 5,000, for somebody who doesn't know that world and they're just trying to figure this whole thing out, what does a good one-to-one actually look like? Like what do you do? What do you not do? What are some tips?
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So first off, on your first one-to-one, with somebody, if you've never met them before, you're going to come in and you're going to use the Ford method. Ford is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Okay, those are the questions you're going to ask. So Ford, okay, and you're going to always let them go first. First off, if you're doing an in-person one-to-one, that first 5 to 10 minutes that someone starts talking, you don't want to be the first one to go first. This is a sales deal because everybody's settling down. And they're not listening to you anyways. So let them go first. Let them feel like you're being heard, right? And you really want them to be heard, of course. So you ask those questions. Sometimes the conversation will just take off and it'll go wherever it goes.
Sure.
And you don't need the questions, but the questions are more like a backup.
Yeah.
So then you're like, so tell me a little bit about your family, or tell me a little bit about whatever, right? And then they'll naturally let you talk.
Sure.
Now they're open to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You tell them everything that you're doing, but what you come with is, I'm coming with the 3 industries that feed my business on a regular basis, and I'm never going to ask them for business. So it's called pitch slapping. Don't ever pitch slap somebody on your first call.
Right.
Well, don't ever do it, but don't ever ask for business on the. So the way I ask the question is this: when we get done with everything, they've told me what they do. I'm now told them what I do. I go, hey, do you know anybody in your network that might be interested in what I'm doing? And when I shot over their head, now they went, and if they're interested, they'll raise their hand and say, actually, I think I'm interested. Let them sell themselves, right? And so then they'll also give you a referral, right? And Grant Cardone always says, even if someone doesn't do business with you, ask for a referral. And I didn't believe that at first, but it's so true. Someone will say, no, I'm not really interested in your thing. Well, perfect. Who do you know that I can help? Here, actually, fill out this form real quick, can you? You know, who do you know? Do the introduction right then. Can you do a text introduction, email introduction right now to those people? And not in a heart, but they'll do it. You know?
Yeah, so absolutely.
Another guy said, if you want to take it even deeper, research them like on LinkedIn or Facebook and see some of the common people you have in common, and ask for referrals to those people while you're sitting with them.
Nice.
Because if they actually know them, then go ahead and do it, right? Sure. But I think the thing you take away is do not sell, offer service, give, give, give. It's like in my series I wrote, which is Give to Grow. Yeah. It's all about giving until it comes back to you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I find most powerful when I go out and meet people is I'll look for opportunities. Okay, how can I help them? Is there someone I can connect them to? Is there some way that I can offer some bit of advice or something like that, so that by the end of me meeting somebody and talking to them, they're like, wow, Jason did this, he did this, and he did this for me already. That's crazy. Yeah. And then that giving, and then they'll want to give back to you, right?
Yes,
which is huge. And then you're both helping each other, and it's a win-win. And everyone walks away being like, that was a great meeting.
Exactly.
You feel good, you helped, they feel good, they helped, and everybody's happier.
Well, yeah, in my cards, I remember I took out one of my cards. It said fill the connector on it early on when I tried to start this process. And I remember it saying, the best one-to-one you'll ever have. And I was like, oh, I want to create so much value that I'd walk away and do 5 or 10 email or text introductions right then, right? Because I would see, you're in health and wellness, so you need to meet all these people I just met this last month, and I'll put them together with, you know?
Right.
So I would speed up people's networking that way, because a lot of people don't have a ton of time to go out and network because they still have to go build the websites or go do the programs that they have and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So they don't have as much time to go meet with 10 or 12 people a week, right? It's a lot of work. Yeah.
So I'm curious, like 5,000 is a lot. Yeah. I mean, just getting 300 referrals and following up with those, that's a ton. Yeah. So do you have any spare time?
Yeah, well, we totally do. So here's the other thing I'll tell you is I make a hard stop at 5 to 6 o'clock every day. I don't even go to evening events or anything like that because it's family time, and I hardly ever work on the weekends. Yeah, I can't even get into it. And then during the summertime, you know, spring and whatever, at noon we leave and go camping every Friday. Yeah. So almost every Friday. So you do not have to work all the time. Yep. It's all about automation and setting up all your programs. Like that program that I talk about, they fill my calendar by me just putting them in an automation. Like they fill out a form, and then our thing reaches out to them 5 or 6 times over a couple weeks, and they'll book themselves on the calendar. Wow. So I just wake up and my calendar's full. Yeah, my calendar's full. So if I wanted to up it, I would just open up more time slots, right? But I'm full now, right? So it's really good. It's good now. It was not so good to begin with.
Yeah, let's talk about that because there's a lot of people who are struggling, right? They haven't reached that. It's amazing. Yeah. They're at the I'm still climbing this mountain thing. So talk. What was that like?
When we started this business, we still had credit cards, so we're using credit cards and living on credit cards at about $5,000 a month. Whoa. Using credit cards. So, because our net to cover was, I guess, probably about $8,000 or whatever. So we've just now become profitable after this year of working. Oh, okay. Okay. So we're like, every month we're going into debt, so the stress is just super high. But what I can tell you is that we did go from 0 to now we're making $100,000 a year in 1 year, and all those referrals, we have a system now. Right. And now that system's in place, now we won't ever have to go back. And just imagine if I could get a hold of somebody that was a young salesperson or young in their business and help them understand this model. Like if I was doing this from the time that I was selling credit card processing back in 2001 or whatever, I wouldn't even be working, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'd have so many referrals coming in and people telling, whatever, I would never even ask for referrals. So it's so powerful to just ask, But no, it was a struggle. I mean, sleepless nights, the stress, all that stuff was there, but now it's worth it because we see our vision and where we're going, and we have a big vision. We want to get to 1 million members inside by 2030.
Nice.
So we're looking for those opportunities. Yeah. So now we're doing a lot of JV stuff where I can go, hey.
What's JV?
JV, oh yeah, great. So a joint venture where you're like, okay, you see that you both could benefit from something.
Okay.
So I got a guy that's got a network of 80 or some people, some people, but they're not very visible. Like they can't see each other. So our platform is set up like a LinkedIn. So he wants to bring all his people into ours. So we'll have more people in our network, and then we're going to trade out some stuff.
Very cool.
So then we're going to do some joint ventures in the future together too. So whenever it's beneficial like that, go for those things, right? But I will say one thing, don't ever give up a piece of your business. I watched too much Shark Tank. So you can make joint ventures on a certain collaboration or a certain thing you're doing, and you could be 50-50 on this partnership thing you're doing, but don't ever take a piece of your business and give it away. Yeah,
that's some solid advice.
Yeah, because there's too many, they're like, oh, I'll just have because if you get money invested to you, guess where that money goes? It just goes away, right? Because you didn't earn it, right? So if your dad wants to give you 250 grand and take whatever percentage of your business, you get that 250 grand, all of a sudden you stop selling. Because you're now you're comfortable. Bills are paid, right? You need to earn it, right? And when you get up there and you earn it, then you're like, I'm never going to let that happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm never going to go back to whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Being $5,000 in debt every month or whatever, you know what I mean? So, I wouldn't even take investments. I would just go and like I said, we started our memberships at $27 and now we're charging well over $100 a month for it because the value is there. Right. But it's just start and go, right?
100%.
Because I remember meeting a couple people along the way that had some similar ideas and they were going to start a community. By the time I was 100 people in, they were still thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't have time. We don't have time to wait. Go. And the biggest motivator is when you don't have money. Right? Because that's going to push you and make you work hard. You got to be careful, to get in that comfort zone, right? Because then you're like, oh, now, should I push? No, you got to have bigger goals.
What you said with that whole money thing, it reminds me of Joe Vitale. Yeah. Written, 70 books or something, but one of them that he talks a lot about is money loves speed. So the faster you're willing to act and to go out there and to do, the more you're going to attract that money back to you. Right?
Yes, I love it.
And
I love it.
Like you're saying, you have 100 members, the other person's still sitting and thinking. Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
Well, look at that.
Overanalyzing.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Camp.
Okay.
And then eventually, hopefully I'll get my phone switched, but I get a lot of texts and all that stuff, right? So it's nice to go places where there's no cell phone service, and then I'm like, don't tell me where it is, because some people will go when we're camping, go find out, hey, right over here you can get cell service. I don't even want to know. I want to be off grid for 2 days. We want to be so off grid that we're actually buying land, and we're going to build houses out there and be totally off grid. So nice. I'm super excited about that. But what's great about building an online business is you can do that, right? Because I'll just be able to continue to build in the community, but I won't have to live in town or anything like that, Right. So, but yeah, we love the outdoors. We want to later on have a farm and be as fully sustainable as possible. Like my wife, she makes her own tallow. She makes her own fresh dog food. So all these things that are very sustainable. We have chickens in the backyard, all that type of stuff. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that's our passion, is growing stuff, I guess it would be. Right?
Whether it's a community.
I know, they kind of go all together, right? Your spirit is what it is, right? Exactly. It wants to, so, but when I get out in the mountains, man, and then you could just be like, I just feel good, right?
100%, so, yeah.
What do you do for fun?
Oh, man, I do podcasts.
Oh, yeah. This is fun for you?
So what's one of your biggest successes?
I have to say, I think this JV partnership that we're getting ready to go into with the other community coming in, and that all came from an introduction, guys. And it's very cool because I can trace it back 15, I call them generations, 15 generations. 15 connections back is what led me to this connection.
Whoa.
So what that means is you always take if someone introduces you, you always take the meeting. because you never know what's going to go. Don't worry about what they do or what they're in business or not in business or whatever, because you never know who they know.
100%.
We always say in the connector community, you're one connection away.
Right.
And this could be the one thing that takes our business to the huge next level, because this guy helps us build his high ticket offers and blah blah blah. But this could change our whole business.
Wow.
And it's all because I stayed, and I always took those meetings, and I counted 15 generations back just for fun, just to see how far I went back.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So that's how they happen, man. You just got to keep saying yes to everything, right? And she introduced us on LinkedIn. She just did an introduction on LinkedIn, and then we booked an appointment and went from there.
Wow.
So nice. I don't care how it comes in. You want to introduce me on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Fill out my form, email introduction. Yeah, don't be picky about how people send you business.
Totally. So what words of wisdom do you have for somebody who's either struggling or they're starting a new business or something like in that phase where it's not great yet? What words of wisdom do you have for someone?
Wow. I got some good advice from somebody a long time ago, and they said, if you need money, your calendar should be 75% full of sales-related activities. Networking is sales-related activities because you're building your brand and telling people who you need. But do not take that time to go to the bank or go run errands for your business and that thing where you think you're working. Don't do that. It has to be all activity that's leading to a paycheck that will actually get you money. Right? So whether it's either networking or asking for the sale or following up on proposals or whatever, right?
Yep.
So 75%, and then you can go back to 50% once you start making some money, and then you can go to 25% once you've covered your nut, which is all the money you need to cover the bills, but never leave networking. So then if you get down to 25%, totally fine, but your business is now thriving, but you need to stay in the world of networking because you never know who you're going to meet.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be my advice, is that you need money, just get out there and start meeting people, because I literally knew not one soul here in 2018. I didn't know anybody.
Wow.
So all I did is started meeting people.
So how many people do you think you've actually met since 2018?
Well, I've definitely done 5,000 one-to-ones, but not here all in the Treasure Valley.
But I mean, just in general, you've met even more than 5,000 because
that's true, because I do one-to-minis and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I know that I've probably done 10,000 introductions.
Wow.
Right, because I would easily do 5 or 6 for each person that I met with. Sometimes I wouldn't do them, but I would say at least 10,000 to 15,000 introductions. So, and then what I did is, in 1 year I wanted to spread my brand East Coast. So here's another thing you guys can do: if you sell something that is not boots on the ground type business, it's a virtual offer or whatever your thing is, you can go join a BNI group that's a full virtual group. So I went and joined a group in New York that was all virtual, and then I got a whole East Coast deal, right?
Wow.
So so the network is just, I don't even stay in contact with everybody I've ever met. If I was doing exactly what I said, which I'm teaching in this new course, then I wouldn't be sitting here. Maybe for fun I would, but it's it's so crazy. Once it took forever to figure this out, because this is 7 years in the making. I remember I was in a BNI group, and I was like, I'm going to master follow-up, because what salespeople are terrible at is follow-up, right? Yep. And so you follow up once or twice, and when you don't smell the sale, then you just move on, right? And but I said, I'm going to master follow-up. And I remember I went to Grant Cardone's stuff, and you and I did some training together, and he had a 52-step follow-up, one every week in a different way. I wrote them all down, and I said, we're going to master it, make it to our own or whatever. But then imagine if I did that with everybody I ever met. It'd be crazy. My list would be 5,000 or 10,000, because the other thing I want to tell you is that even though we only have 250 members, we have about 600 affiliates.
Whoa.
Because everybody that comes and sees what I do, because you're so kind to them and you don't try to sell them anything, you don't try to hard pitch them, then they'll stay on your list and send you referrals. I get people sending referrals all the time that not even in the network.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if I answered all your questions, but but I get going, like you said, the Energizer Bunny. I can't stop.
Yeah, as long as you're sharing these nuggets of wisdom, I'm going to let him keep talking. Yeah. So I'm really curious, with all of this future that you see, how do you stay focused on what you need to be doing every day? Because I imagine you got like bouncing out like a pinball, right?
Well, the number one thing to do, as we just did, is hire a VA.
Okay.
Right, because as you hire the virtual assistant, you can start offloading all those tasks that are holding you back. I'm lucky that I have a wife that has been an admin for 20 plus years. So as long as I listen to her and she says this is how we should map it out, then so I would say your first thing to start to get out of your own way is that virtual assistant. Right now, you're right. I don't always go look at my tasks. I don't always my email gets too full, like all those things. So once you can start handing all that stuff off, then what I do is that zone of genius. I've read in a book so many different times that you just stay in your zone of genius, and mine is meeting people. Right.
Okay.
So we've moved successfully now to a one-to-many model, and so meaning now I do these tours twice a week, and up to 20 or 30 people can come into those. And so now my calendar is totally freed up. The reason you and I weren't able to get together all these times that we canceled is because I've just been doing, for the first year, 80 to 100 one-to-ones every month.
Wow.
Because I just spread the word, right? So I was taking one-to-one, right? But then we learned the one-to-many model, and now that's working very good. So they'll find a time to get on your calendar if it's interesting enough to them.
Right.
And the ones that don't, they weren't interested, and that's okay. So now things are getting freed up to where now I can go create these bigger JVs, and maybe you and I'll do some business together, and now I can see these other things and say, let's do some business together and bring in some bigger fish, if you will, right?
But what I really love that you just said, and it was just a little teeny statement, was this idea of if they don't make time, it wasn't right for them, right? But what you're saying is you have enough coming in that it's okay to let the not a good fit people move on.
Yes.
You're not so desperate. They're like, no, I need you, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if this is a good fit, let's do it. If it's not a good fit, that's okay.
Yes.
And it's better if we don't partner up and do business.
Totally.
Because you only want those people that have that mindset that matches the way you do business. Right?
Yes, I love that you said that, because we always say in our tour, we'll say we want people that put people before profits and want to collaborate with others. Yeah. And when I say that on the call, if that's not for them, they're out. And that's totally cool. You know, because you're right, you don't want them all. You want all the right ones. Yeah. Right? Definitely. But that's why it's so important to create. What I've always been good at is creating opportunity, right? And so you want to create so much opportunity that as people are raising their hand saying yes, it's like maybe it's 1 out of 100, but you have thousands of people you're talking to at one time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because they're in your follow-ups and all that type of stuff. So you let the people raise their hand. Like, if 10% of my list right now said they want to do business, I wouldn't be able to do it because it's too much. You know what I mean? Like, okay, not right now. Right? That'd be 100 people saying I want to sign up. That would overwhelm us right now. You know, but yeah, just let people come when they want. Let them be a part of the tribe that they want to be a part of, right? Yeah. And you and I are learning a lot about tribes, right?
Definitely.
So, yeah. So
that's amazing. So, like, people I'm sure listening are going to want to connect with you. Sure. How do people find out about you?
So let's see, theconnectorcommunity.com. Okay. And there you can book a tour. It's very clear on there. There's a little video about me talking about what's going on, and you book a tour, but it's theconnectorcommunity.com. You'll find the tour there. You can hit me up on Facebook, Phil Herrington. It's Herrington. I take a message there. But that's probably the fastest way. Neither one of those. Perfect. I have somebody that watches my messages, so they'll take care of that.
Social media or the website, right?
Or the website, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your story and all this wisdom and all this experience. And if you're listening today, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, but also share it with someone else who maybe could use this message. Maybe they need that uplift. Maybe they just need some of Phil's energy. Whatever it is, share it with somebody who could benefit. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode.